What is going on, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. This is my Vampire Diaries Episode 8 review video. I know I have been slacking or inconsistent with reviews for this show. I really just didn't have time for 1 week, I believe, and then the other week I went to bed really early. So that is why I could not do reviews or upload clips. So if you notice that I hadn't done that, that is the reason behind it. But I'm going to try to be consistent all the way through. Sometimes things come up and they prevent me from doing clips or reviews or anything like that, and it's just something that I can't really control. But here we are. Let's get right into it. This episode, I actually enjoyed it, and I'm going to talk about why, of course, but the highlights of the episode, things pretty much went according to how I expected. So I hadn't seen episode 7 up until tonight. I watched episode 7 maybe about 2-3 hours before this episode aired. And I expected either Julian or Lily to die. Now, obviously, it really just couldn't be Julian. So once you process that and you start to look at the show where it's at and how many episodes we have left to go, you know realistically it had to be Lily, because Julian is the antagonist for this season. They don't really have much else as far as a villain goes. And we need to have someone like that to command the screen and at least provide some types of tension and give characters some kind of motivation for the things they're going to do. So what has Stefan and Damon been doing for a few episodes now? They've been trying to kill Julian. So they're going to obviously do that at some point towards the end of the season. And the whole storyline they have going right now with Caroline being pregnant with Alaric's, Joe's twins that were transferred over, if you want to look at it that way, into Caroline. That storyline, I guess, is due to the fact that Candice Accola, who plays Caroline, is pregnant in real life. So I guess that really helps with that situation, because she's going to be filming, I guess, a couple episodes, and she's going to be moving along in her pregnancy. So it's going to at least add up. It'll make it a lot easier for them to do that type of storyline. So that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. Stefan and Caroline had some great moments. I'll touch on that in 1 second. Before, I wanted to just touch on Lily, because I actually kind of liked her character. I started to like her character a little bit, at least up until maybe, let's say, for about 3-4 episodes. I got some more backstory into her character, kind of, because they started to flesh her out. It's really hard when you bring a random character in like that to appreciate or understand that character, or even give them the time of day if you're kind of not really into the show anymore or anything like that. So you're just looking for something that's at least good, so you can give yourself an extra reason to watch the show or something else to look for. And that is what they were doing for the last couple of weeks. So it's been really great to actually see her character get a little bit of backstory and get fleshed out a bit. It's sad to see her go. Unfortunately, she is dead and gone. And I will say that she's 38 years old, but she is really, really attractive. I mean, damn, she's hot. Anyway, so it was sad to see her go. Her and Julian had a interesting relationship, up and down, very, very different dynamic of sorts there. But Julian is the guy this season, and he's going to be dealt with at some point naturally. So you can see, though, that Damon has a lot of issues with his mother, things that he hasn't even worked out yet either. And there's a lot of extra layers that they continue to add to these characters, because when they add more story like this, and then you didn't really know about these things prior, because with the Vampire Diaries, they didn't really know about all of this. Like, they didn't have all of this in mind when they started the show. They've just been making things up as they go along, because that's just what they're doing. So it's hard for you to, because even the depiction of Stefan and Damon's father, I never really got that vibe from the flashbacks in season 1, that he was this terrible guy. All I really understood was that he did not accept the fact that vampires were real, or didn't accept that they were in this world and that you should be one or associate with them or tolerate them or anything like that. And that was it. But they never really sold me on that fact that he was this terrible person. So them doing this now is like kind of flipping a switch in many ways, but understandable. We weren't really given enough flashbacks in season 1 to really compare them, but just from what I got from seeing the actor portray Giuseppe Salvatore, I didn't really get that vibe. But it's understandable with these new flashbacks that they're doing in season 7 that it's a different time. It's prior to the flashbacks we saw in season 1, because Lily is still in the picture, so I guess it's understandable if that's the route they want to go. But it's hard when you're kind of writing this show like this, because Damon, you don't really get that. You never really got that vibe from either of the Salvatore brothers. Like, you never really got that backstory about their parents and everything too much. It was always minor stuff. So when they're trying to sell you on Damon's hatred or his distrust or his resentment of his mother, it's a little bit harder to swallow unless you get some more of the backstory. But that's just me kind of overthinking it, I guess. But at the same time, it's I guess he was just finding it really difficult. Like, Stefan, you could see, was really emotional in that scene, that final death scene with Lily, and Damon just basically said, "You made your bed, now you're gonna lie in it." So and he did say, "I hope you have a good nap," or something like that. So it's what it is. She's gone from the show, as far as that's how it looks. So once you get staked like that, it's pretty much over. So I guess we'll just have to see what they do next. Next week is the mid-season finale. After that, they're going to be on break like all the other shows for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to do a couple of videos of the Vampire Diaries leading up to that. Not necessarily, of course, not reviews, but just me talking about different things that I wanted to talk about so far this season that I haven't done yet. So I'm going to do those. I'll probably post them on Thursday, since that's like the Vampire Diaries day. The same way I'll do my Flash and my Arrow stuff on Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Now, to go back to two things that I need to touch on. Enzo and Lily, their scene was really good, and it's a shame that he doesn't even know that she's dead, and he's not even going to be able to say goodbye or anything like that. And he did tell her to leave with him right now, and they could go, which is interesting, because this kind of puts a dent in the Enzo and Bonnie relationship that they were starting to build. Obviously, we know we're gonna be together, as the flash forward has already indicated, but you can see that he still has he has some strong feelings for Lily, and I mean, rightfully so. Like I said, she is really, really attractive. I mean, wow, seriously. But so they have the history, so it's there and it's understandable. So he didn't get to say goodbye, and I thought their scene was great in that little bookstore when they had that somewhat short kiss. So there's that they're going to touch on at some point, I guess. He's going to find out his reaction to that and all of that. And of course, him and Bonnie are going to have some more scenes, which I look forward to. Now, for the big moment of the episode, relationship-wise, Stefan and Caroline. Stefan finding out that Caroline is, of course, pregnant, and Stefan also saying "I love you" to Caroline, which is a big deal. It's a really big deal, especially for me, being a Stefan and Elena shipper since season 1. Now, how does it stack up in comparison to Stefan and Elena? Well, in my opinion, it'll never stack up, because it will never feel as authentic. But as far as the Stefan and Caroline relationship go, I liked it. I thought it was great. I would have preferred if it was in person, but I guess you really can't do much about that. So it's what it is. I'm hoping they're going to have some more scenes, because over the last few weeks, they've had a few conversations where they're on the phone, and it's not too big of a deal. But I remember at one point when Damon and Elena started getting together, they were having these phone conversations, and it was kind of frustrating after a while. So sometimes you just want them to be in the same room so they can talk, or there's just a lot more emotion and intent when you're actually in the same room and you're like right next to that person, and things can also, the chemistry also stands out a lot more. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you enjoyed their scenes. They only had 2, but they had 2 lengthy scenes, so that was good. That was good enough. So it totaled up to just about 4 minutes total scenes, that's really good, considering the episode was predominantly about Julian and Lily and the entire witch pyre faction that they have going on. So yeah, leave some comments down below. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Always share your thoughts and opinions on the show. And if you have any video suggestions or any TV show suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments, and I will definitely take a look at the show if I've never seen it before. So thank you for watching, listening, and I will see you guys again in another video, probably on Saturday, or if not Saturday, then Sunday or Monday. My name is Damien.